Hello, everyone. My name is Karin Coger, and welcome to the intro to ChatGPT for content creation. I just have a few housekeeping things to get out of the way. This is going to be a recorded webinar, so if you are not able to make this webinar live, you will get a recording at a later date in your email if you registered for this webinar. During the webinar, I want to keep it going continuously, so if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A or in the chat, and I will get to your questions at the end of the webinar. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. Again, this is Intro to ChatGPT for Content Creation. ChatGPT has been around now since November of 2022, and it has taken the world by the storm. ChatGPT is not the only natural language model out there, but it is the one that we are going to discuss today. So although I'm aware that there are other models out there, such as Claude or Perplexity, we are going to primarily focus on ChatGPT during this session. So this is the second of 8 ChatGPT sessions that I will be hosting, and each session is going to build upon the last one. So although I will touch base with getting started with ChatGPT and explaining what it is in each session, I am not going to cover all the material from the session before. So what is ChatGPT and how does it work? In the most simplest terms, it is a chatbot. It is either an app or a website that you're using on your computer, or perhaps you have it downloaded on your phone as an app, but it is a model that has been trained on information that has been out there and available to the world. So for years, they've been working on this model. Even though ChatGPT is new to us, so to speak, it is not new. It's not new out there. So for the past few years, they have been training ChatGPT on encyclopedias and tests and coding and everything out there that we essentially go to school for or trade school for and learn. ChatGPT has been trained on that, and now it's available to us. So the way that I like to think about it is previously, prior to ChatGPT, when I would just go and Google something, or if you were somebody that liked Bing and you would just look it up on there. Now for me, I essentially use ChatGPT as my main research model, but it can do so much more. So again, it does draw on relevant information. When ChatGPT was first introduced to us, it had some limitations. At that time, it was on model 3.5, and it had only been trained on information up into November of 2021. But since then, and absolutely every day, there are changes and advances in ChatGPT, and now we are on ChatGPT 4.0. And I'm certain it's going to change sometime soon. So at the date of the recording of this model, it is May the 2nd of 2024. If you are listening to this a month from now, things could have changed already. What ChatGPT does is it creates a human-like response to the questions that you ask or the prompts that you input. Before we go even further, again, I want to introduce myself to you. My name is Karin Coger. I am the owner of Coger Law Firm, which is a boutique firm. We focus primarily in the areas of trademarks and copyrights. So my firm is virtual. In the areas that I practice in, I can practice in all 50 states, and the law firm is completely online. So although we are based in New Jersey, where I am barred, again, with trademarks and copyrights, I can practice in all 50 states. I come from Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Philadelphia. I attended Hampton University for undergrad and Howard University School of Law. Upon graduation from law school, I entered into litigation, and I practiced as a litigator. So I was a courtroom attorney, for lack of a better term, for approximately 18 years before I transitioned over into trademarks and copyrights. So in this position, I am able to work with individuals and businesses to help legally secure their content and their brands and their businesses with trademarks and copyrights. I know you're probably thinking, well, what does it have to do with ChatGPT and generative AI? Well, one thing about me, I like all things new and shiny. So just like those of us who were early adopters of the internet when it came out, when we first heard the AOL buzz or the telephone, the dial up on the telephone, and we jumped on that. I was in college during that time. And same thing now with ChatGPT and generative AI. As soon as I was introduced to it, I jumped on it. I wanted to learn more about it for two reasons. Number one, when I told you that ChatGPT is being trained on information that is available, there are major, major issues with ChatGPT and trademarks and copyrights and issues regarding infringement. So there are a number of lawsuits that are pending right now in court. There are a number of people who have settled outside of court with issues regarding trademark and copyright infringement. So in the course of my day-to-day life as a trademark and copyright attorney, I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what all of this controversy was about. And then I actually sat down and learned how to use ChatGPT on my own. First, I started off maybe like a lot of you, finding videos on the internet like this one or on YouTube. Then I started taking additional courses. I started following Lorette and Alicia Little. They own Monetize Marketing, and through that business, they actually opened up the AI Experts Club. So that is a club where I am a monthly member, along with hundreds of other people who we make sure that we stay on top of what is new in generative AI. So we do not just focus on ChatGPT, we do focus on all of the other tools that are out there and learn different ways to use them in our life and in our businesses. But in addition to that, I decided I wanted to take it a little bit further, and I decided that I wanted to train to become an AI consultant. And so hopefully that will be happening soon. And in the course of that, I am taking the time to teach these courses because I don't want to just hold all this information to myself. I want to be able to share with other people who, again, may want to learn more about generative AI to use it in their life and in their businesses. So this course has primarily been focused on how to use ChatGPT in your businesses. So again, today we're going to focus on content creation. Who is using generative AI and other tools such as ChatGPT? Okay, based upon this study came out, I believe, at the end of 2023, and it took a poll of how people were using the different generative AI tools. And actually, the next graph shows it a little bit better. They came up with 6 key user segments of generative AI. And the first one was trailblazers. So again, I called myself a trailblazer because I jumped on it pretty early. You are not late to the game. If you're watching this video in May of 2024, you are probably still considered a trailblazer because there's only a small population of the US that is using generative AI. Next would be creators. So that's what we're here to talk about today, is what we can do with generative AI and with ChatGPT to create and to help bring those ideas to life using generative AI. The next group, they are called protectors, people that recognize the need to use generative AI to stay ahead. Then there are investigators, there are optimizers, and then there are employers. And as you can see, the employers are actually the smallest percentage of the population because there are some employers out there who are very hesitant about generative AI. They don't know what it is. They don't know how it's going to work. Every day you hear people worrying about, is ChatGPT and generative AI going to take people's jobs? And to be quite honest, yes, there are going to be some jobs that are eliminated because of the use of generative AI. However, if you are able to learn how to use generative AI, you can make yourself an asset to not only the company that you work for, but you can make yourself an asset for yourself, your family, and your community. So if you have not gotten started with ChatGPT yet, now is a great time to do it. As you're watching this video, all you're going to do is go to the OpenAI site, or go to the ChatGPT site. And when you sign up, there are different levels. So right now, you're still a free level of ChatGPT. So it does not cost any money for you to use it. But at the beginning of this webinar, I talked about when ChatGPT first came out, it was at level 3.5, which is a little bit limited. So if you do decide to bump up to the next level, which is ChatGPT Plus, it's approximately $20 a month. It is at ChatGPT 4, is at a higher learning level. It's at a higher output level, and you will see in the course of these videos the differences in the output when you're using 3.5 or 4.0. And then there's also the team level. So if you're using ChatGPT at work, you want your whole team to be on there together. So it makes you, that's the next level. So again, you do not have to use a paid version to take these courses. But if you do a paid version, you will see a difference in the output. Okay, another plugin that I like to use with ChatGPT is Web Chat GPT. which is a Chrome extension. This is also free. And the reason I like this is it does two things. It, number one, helps with your prompts. So some of you getting started maybe wondering, like, how do I even use this? How do I get started? What do I even say to it? Web Chat GPT helps with that. But it also does link to sources on the internet. So one of the main issues that people have with ChatGPT is that there is a possibility that sometimes it can give false information, or perhaps it does not quote the information or where it came from, or it can even do what's called hallucinating, which is where ChatGPT can make up information, but it sounds so true, you may think it's real. So I do like to use this plugin, and there are other ones. You don't have to use this plugin or any plugins at all, but this is just something that I like to use in my practice so that I am able to link to the internet. So I want to say one of the biggest differences when using ChatGPT versus a Google is when you would go do a Google search and you type in what you're searching for, it's going to give you a list of links and you have to go through them to figure out what exactly is going to answer the question that you have or where you want to get that information from. Versus ChatGPT, it gives you the output, and again, a more human-like response, a more conversational response. But a lot of times you do want to make sure you check your sources, especially if you're using this in business, if you're using this to rely upon in business for statistics, for quotes. But also, I like to know where my information is coming from. And then also, you can use ChatGPT on your cell phone. So it does have an app version, which you can use on both Apple and Android. So both iOS and Android have a ChatGPT app in their individual stores. And just to give you a word of caution, the ChatGPT app is free to use. Again, if you're on that plus level, there will be a place for that will indicate that you're on the plus level. But if you log into your Apple store and you see an app that's $3.99 or $5.99, that's not the official and authentic ChatGPT app. You probably are not going to want to use those. But again, I like it because ChatGPT is now my walking assistant. I walk around with her every day. And yes, among the other people that I study, generative AI, we have taken to calling her Chatty, and we decided that she's a she. So if you hear me say Chatty during the course of these webinars, that is who and what I am talking about. One of the main things you have to recognize when you're using generative AI, such as ChatGPT, is the better the information that you put into ChatGPT is the better output that you're going to get. And so I'm going to introduce you to what's called the Tada method before we delve into ChatGPT. Okay, Tada is a method in which you work with ChatGPT, and it stands for this: train, ask, dig, additional, assemble. So first you are going to train ChatGPT, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute. And once you train ChatGPT to do what you want, act as you want it to, then you're going to ask Chatty a question, or you're going to give Chatty a command. All right. Once you do that and you get a response from ChatGPT, you're going to want to dig a little bit more. So you might ask some questions and you will get some surface answers. But when you really get in there and you really want to utilize the full power of ChatGPT, you're going to want to dig more. You're going to want to ask for additional information. And then at the end, you're going to put it all together and assemble it in a way in which you would like to present ChatGPT. So I'm actually going to log out of this ChatGPT account, and ChatGPT 4, what I've been talking about is the paid version. So in general, this is what you're going to see when you hit the screen. So we talked today about content creation, and what is content? Content is what we're putting out there on blogs, in your newsletters, on social media. So just real quick, we're going to ask Chatty a quick question. And I have to give my little disclaimer and my apology. Sometimes my typing is not the best. So you will see as I'm giving these live demonstrations or you're watching the recordings, sometimes I will have a tendency to have misspelled words or my pronunciation might be off. And guess what? ChatGPT can actually handle that and look past that and get to the answer that you want. So I asked Chatty just a very simple question: what's a blog? And one of the cool aspects of ChatGPT and the improvements that it makes is that it can talk to you back and read your answer to you out loud.
Type of website, online platform, where individuals or groups regularly publish articles, opinions, personal experiences, or other types of content. These entries, known as blog posts, are typically displayed in reverse chronological order, with the most recent post appearing first. Blogs often cover a wide range of topics, including but not limited to personal interests, hobbies, professional expertise, travel experiences, current events, or niche subjects. Blogs can be created for various purposes, such as sharing information, expressing viewpoints, building a community, promoting products or services, or simply as a creative outlet. Readers can engage with blog content by leaving comments, sharing posts on social media, or subscribing to receive updates.
Okay, so what are the benefits of using ChatGPT for content creation? Rapid content generation. You guys are going to see that in just a minute. Tapping into the vast knowledge of ChatGPT. So again, I talked about how much training it has. So therefore, it has all this information that typically you would spend time researching on your own or try to come up with the ideas on your own. Consistent brand voice. So when I told you about the Tada method, when I talked about training, like I say, you can train ChatGPT to talk and act the way you want it to. You'll see that in a minute. Unleash creativity. So harness ChatGPT's innovative ideas to spark new content concepts and overcome one's writer's block, and then also to boost SEO performance. So where we're going to start today is with creating blog content with ChatGPT. So because I want to show you some of the more robust powers of ChatGPT, I am going to log into my account where I use ChatGPT 4, and I'm going to show you a little trick down here. So when you click on your name or your login information over on the left, you're going to go down into the left and you're going to click on custom instructions. This is where you are able to tell ChatGPT how you want it to act and talk as you. So for more details about that, I want you to look back on the video for week 1, where I teach you how to train ChatGPT and add your training to the custom instructions. So it's typically when you want ChatGPT to act as a certain person, talk as a certain person, but this is trained for me. So let's say right now I'm working with a client. The client is not me. I want to train ChatGPT to act and talk as that other person. So what I did is I prepared a client persona for you guys just to make it a little bit easier. I'm not going to have you read all of this, but I basically told ChatGPT that my name is Karin Coger and I am a certified Pilates instructor and a business owner. I have my business subscription, which is USA Premier Pilates Studio. I offer online Pilates classes on Facebook and YouTube. They're being offered at $197 a month. And the demographic that I'm trying to reach through my content are women aged 35 to 60 who work from home. The demographic reach is nationwide because I do offer these classes online. It's not limited to just people that are in my demographic area. And my qualifications and expertise, again, I'm a certified Pilates instructor. What you're going to do when you want to talk like somebody like this is you are going to feed this information to ChatGPT. So I'm going to take all that information that I already came up with, copy and paste it into ChatGPT, and let ChatGPT know that I would like to create blogs, newsletters. Do you understand is a nice little tool that you can use with ChatGPT to make sure that it actually does understand the instructions you gave it or what you asked of it. Right out the gate, ChatGPT came up with 5 blog ideas, newsletter content, social media posts. So going back to the Tada method that I told you about, we talked about training. I trained it by telling it who I was, what I want to do. I asked or I told ChatGPT what I wanted to do. It gave me some information, but now we're going to go into dig. Dig is to dig deep and go even further than what ChatGPT gives you on the surface. Okay, so these are just very general blog ideas. Let's dig a little deeper. Okay, so I just told Chatty I want to create a blog post on the benefits of mat Pilates for women who work on a computer all day. Create a 500-word blog post. Now, as this is spitting out, I don't know about you, but it would take me a lot longer to come up with this idea and to actually draft the blog post that it's going to take in less than this minute, in which it's going to take ChatGPT to spit out this blog for us. what the studio is, what we offer, and how we can help them. So we want to get some additional information. So typically when you have a blog post, it's going to go up on your website, or right now people are using LinkedIn articles, LinkedIn newsletters as blog posts. People are also posting them on Medium. So I still want a little bit more. So going back to that TDA framework, when we're thinking about train, we asked the question, we asked it to dig a little deeper. It gave us a better blog post. Now I want some FAQs for my blog post. Okay, so for additional, I just asked ChatGPT, or I told ChatGPT to give me 10 frequently asked questions and answers about the benefits of mat Pilates for women over 35 or 35 to 60. I want these FAQs to be educational, informative, and entertaining. Who wants to read a boring blog post? All right, so this is wonderful. So what do I want to do with this information? Now I have the blog, I have the FAQs. I do want to put this on my WordPress site. So let's see if ChatGPT can give me a little bit more to help me with this blog. Okay, so my instructions were take the last two outputs. So those were the two questions or instructions that I gave ChatGPT and the answers that it gave me. So that was take the blog post and take the FAQs, put them together, create the headings, give me tags, and so that I can essentially copy and paste this directly into a WordPress blog. So now with the information that ChatGPT just spit out for us, again, we can either copy and paste it directly where you want to put it, or oftentimes I will create a Google Doc to hold my information. In ChatGPT, you can come down to the bottom, hit copy. Now, a little trick, everybody doesn't get this, but I do. Sometimes when I copy and paste from ChatGPT, I have a lot of pound signs, I have a lot of asterisks. You don't want that in the final version of your text. So just a quick trick that I use is you insert what you want to remove and don't put anything that you replace it with. That way it will just delete all of those symbols. Okay, boom. So now it's gone. All right, so this is ready for me to use it, take it, share it wherever I want. And thank you, ChatGPT. You just knocked out that blog post in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so now I have the blog post. I'm going to put it up on the website, but I also want to include information about the blog post in my weekly newsletter that goes out to subscribers. So let's continue. We're going to ask for additional information. Okay, so as you can see, it's taking the information from the blog that we created, but now it is reformatting it for a newsletter, which you don't necessarily want to copy and paste your whole 500-word blog post into your newsletter. This is a lot more friendlier. It's more in a newsletter design. It has the link to the full article and the link to sign up for classes. And it says connect with us on Facebook and YouTube for more tips and updates. See, I didn't even tell ChatGPT to do that. She did it on her own. So that's wonderful. So now what I want to do is go ahead and create the social media surrounding this blog post. Now create 10 Facebook posts for the Pilates Facebook page with emojis and hashtags, encouraging people to read the blog and to sign up for the course. And Chatty gave us a little tip at the end. Remember to link each post to the specific blog page where the readers can find the more detailed information. All right, now create 10 IG posts for 10 IG stories. And again, here is the magic working with a tool like ChatGPT. So IG story number 1, quick tips. It's telling you what type of content to use, what type of visuals you should use, and the call to action. Swipe up. Okay, now I've asked for 5 TikTok scripts about the blog and to encourage people to click the link in the bio to visit the blog and to sign up for the classes. So for TikTok scripts, it's giving you the scene setup as well as the dialogue. And now I asked for a 2-week posting schedule for the blogs and newsletter, the 10 Facebook posts, the 10 IG stories, and the TikToks, as well as the best time to post. So isn't that amazing? Again, I just want you to think back of how much time it had taken you to come up with the idea, write the blog, write the newsletter, write all of your blog posts. So now what you need to do is either shoot the videos, get somebody else to shoot the videos, get somebody else to create the posts for you, create them on your own, schedule them, and you're ready to go. Okay, so when you get the recording, you're also going to get links to a few more documents because one of the things that people will say when I do teach how to create content on using ChatGPT is how do you know what to ask or how did you know what to tell ChatGPT to act as or to write as or what writing style to use. So one of the documents is this Google Sheet which has the different tones. In general, I asked ChatGPT to write an informative blog about the benefits of, mat Pilates for a certain demographic. But when you do so, you can ask ChatGPT to write in a certain tone. So do you want it to be informative? Do you want it to be persuasive? Do you want it to be humorous? Is this in line with how you speak or how your client speaks or how that business speaks? And then you may want to tell ChatGPT how to write it, what type of writing style to use. So I have those listed here also. So again, this was more of an informative educational blog post, but here are 20 common writing styles that people use. And then here is a list of verbs for writing prompts. So what is a prompt? A prompt can have a wide definition. So the information that we give ChatGPT or that we act for it to do for us or that we tell it to do is considered a prompt. But again, sometimes people are like, oh, well, how do I come up with those? So here are, I believe it's about 60 prompts that you can use to help get your creative juices going in terms of what do I want to ask ChatGPT to do or how do I want ChatGPT to create my content. And then in this case, I had a clearly defined customer type. Again, it was a woman 35 to 60 who worked at home, that was on a computer all day. But other common customer types are community members. Are you writing to somebody in your Facebook community? Are you in fashion? Are you writing to a trend center? This person, my person, was probably either a fitness enthusiast or somebody that wanted to get into fitness. So here are 30 customer types that you can use to help jog your memory and get you started on your content creation journey. So I'm not going to go through every single slide here because again, you are going to get the slides, but we did cover blog content with ChatGPT. This is the training chatty doc that I will send you, the writing prompts that I just showed you. We covered crafting newsletters and we covered creating social media posts. We talked about writing in your brand voice, maintaining your brand voice, and go back to the other video, which I will link when you get the recording, that talks about creating the custom instructions so that you can save your brand voice in your own individual ChatGPT screen. Okay, I talked about ensuring quality and accuracy with ChatGPT. I didn't do it for this particular article. Number one, because I didn't want to have a whole bunch of links all over the screen. And number two, information about mat Pilates is pretty general in the information that I knew to be true, which is coming up on the screen. But if you're using other information or maybe current events and you want to make sure that you're getting accurate information, go back and check, go back and Google, or make sure you turn on those extensions that will allow you to link to sources outside of ChatGPT. Afterwards, you might want to do some additional editing. Don't want to make this session too long, but there are also editors that you can use that will read and proofread your content. So common ones are Grammarly or Quill. There are other sites that you can use that will read it to see if how much AI is detected. So how much of the writing that you're putting out sounds like it's coming from a chatbot, because right now that is something that people are very sensitive right now. And there are certain words that just scream, I got this from ChatGPT, and I did not go through all the steps today to kind of get rid of that. Maybe I'll do it in another session, but that capability is out there as well. All right. You're going to want to integrate ChatGPT into your content workflow. So if you are in the area of content creation, I know some people have content batch days or weekends where they just sit down and bang it all out for the next week or the next month. Or some people do create their content, on the fly. One of the benefits of having ChatGPT create this amount of content for you is it does help you plan, especially if number one, you're busy. Content creation may not be your number one job, so to speak. Or let's say you are working with a VA, or perhaps you want to schedule with a marketing company. ChatGPT will help with the process that we just went through and the way that you will set up for yourself, it will help you with your workflows. Right. It can also help with your SEO. So it will help you with your keyword research and to structure your content to make sure that those keywords are popping up through your content. So it will be picked up. And you can ask ChatGPT to create your metadata for you as well. And then repurposing ChatGPT generated content, just the same way that you would repurpose the content that you created before, whether it was long form content in terms of long videos or long blog articles, and you want to chop it up and use it in other places or different sites, you can ask ChatGPT to help you with that as well. And we did just discuss collaborating with ChatGPT for content ideation. So again, whether you're working on your own, working with a marketing team, working with a VA, ChatGPT can help with that as well. So I want to take the time to thank you for coming out either tonight or watching on the replay about this information about using ChatGPT for content creation. There will be some additional slides. I will have links for you to be able to get in touch with me, as well as for information on the AI Experts Club, as well as the AI Consultation Certification course. Thank you.